Inflammation isn't just chemistry, it's energy in motion. When tissue is damaged, the electrical potential of those cells physically changes. The injured area becomes electrically unstable. But if the energy distortion doesn't resolve, the area keeps broadcasting the same distress pattern, even after the tissue should be healed. And that's chronic inflammation. Hello everyone and welcome. Today we're going to be exploring a topic that is absolutely foundational to healing, and that is inflammation and how we can address it using anti-inflammatory frequencies. Now, inflammation is the body's natural healing response, right? It's what happens when tissue is injured or the immune system detects a threat. But when inflammation lingers, it becomes really destructive. It leads to pain, it leads to fatigue, to swelling, to chronic illness. The exciting thing is that both our bioelectric systems and our energetic fields can be tuned back into harmony. Using microcurrent and specific frequencies, we can literally guide the body out of an anti-inflammatory or out of an inflammatory state back into an anti-inflammatory state and therefore into a state of repair. So today we're going to talk about what inflammation really is at the energetic level. And we're going to talk about how to use anti-inflammatory frequencies safely and effectively in your self-care routine or for your patients. So what is inflammation energetically? Let's start with the big picture. Inflammation isn't just chemistry. It's energy in motion. When tissue is damaged, the electrical potential of those cells physically changes. The injured area becomes electrically unstable. The voltage drops, and that disrupted field communicates distress to the nervous system. In some cases, the voltage even increases, which can cause chronic disease like cancer. Now, the signal recruits immune cells. It increases circulation, and it begins repair. But if the energy distortion doesn't resolve, the area keeps broadcasting the same distress pattern, even after the tissue should be healed. And that's chronic inflammation, a feedback loop that we don't want, that never turns off. Now, anti-inflammatory frequencies help interrupt that loop. They restore normal electrical potential. They stabilize the cell membrane, and they calm the overactive signaling that drives pain and swelling. In short, inflammation is the body's alarm system, and frequencies are one of the gentlest ways to tell it, you're safe, take a breath, you can stand down. Now, there are many different anti-inflammatory frequencies. In fact, anything above 100 hertz is actually anti-inflammatory. And there's some interesting distinctions depending on the information that you're actually using to determine these frequencies. We've talked in the past about 528 hertz being used for DNA repair and cellular harmony. This is above 100 hertz, so it has an anti-inflammatory capacity. 396 hertz is used to release stored tension and emotional inflammation. But also it's above 100 hertz, so it's anti-inflammatory. So any of these things here are going to have a role to play. Now, you can even look at some lower frequencies and say that they're anti-inflammatory if you want to. Thinking about this concept of brain inflammation, especially as it relates to depression and anxiety and other things like that, we know that we don't really go above 100 hertz on the brain. So how do we treat it? Well, the 40 hertz frequency of gamma seems to help reduce cytokine activity and combat neuroinflammation as well. So even though that's below 100 hertz and it's regenerative, it does have some anti-inflammatory capacity, especially on the brain. Now, typical frequencies you'll see in our devices that you use are going to be 121 hertz. They're going to be 350 hertz, Sanasurf 350. Even blue stimulation does a little bit anti-inflammatory and a little bit of regenerative. When you use a microcurrent device, or if you're even using sound therapy, right, for these frequencies, you are communicating with the body's repair signals. And you're not forcing change, but you're suggesting a balance. This is the thing. We're never forcing, we're suggesting. So how do you use these frequencies in self-care? Well, It's always important to set your intention. We talk about this a lot in the reset. Mindset, intention are critical to healing. Inflammation always carries an emotional component. There's stress, there's fear, there's frustration. You're not feeling good. Of course, you're emotionally going to be impacted by this. Take a slow breath and simply say to yourself, I am ready to release what no longer serves my body. Next, choose your frequency. If you're using microcurrent, the program is going to vary depending on what you want to do. You can do vagus nerve stimulation using 7 to 12 hertz, and it will calm the inflammatory response of the body. But if you're trying to deal with a direct issue, say a sore throat, or you're dealing with a twisted ankle or a broken finger, whatever that pain source is, target that area with a frequency. 121 hertz is great if you're holding it still. Otherwise, use something that doesn't modulate. That 350 hertz, Sanasurf 350, blue stimulation, move that over the area, painting that area out. Now, essentially what you're doing here is you are reducing that inflammation by targeting that area and asking the body to calm it down. It doesn't really matter where it is. It's just going to remove that inflammatory response, and it's going to start repairing the energetic field. You got to realize as well that as the frequency's running, it's nice to think, oh, well, this could just be set it and forget it. But healing is a full body experience. It helps to focus your awareness on the sensation, right? You may feel tingling, you may feel pulsing. Just focus on that. That is your body reestablishing the electrical flow. Breathe slowly, right? In through the nose for 4, out through the mouth for 6. Imagine the inflammation as static or as noise that's being smoothed out into a calm hum. Now, 10 minutes is a long treatment session, so you want to spend less than that. Maybe we're even talking 3 to 5 minutes here of just working on that area to get that inflammation process reduced. Once it's begun, remember the body is going to keep running this program. So all you're doing is you're signaling it to make change, and then you're letting it make that change. Now, there's ways to enhance the effect. Deepening your results with microcurrent can be done with supportive habits. We all know eating healthy is going to help with anything we're trying to do. But one of the things that people often don't think about is hydration. We talk a lot about hydration here. Hydration is essential. Frequencies move through water. They need the water in our body to move. So drinking a full glass before and after your session, particularly using some electrolytes, is going to be extremely beneficial. Follow up with some gentle movements. There is nothing more dangerous than the idea of rest it and forget about it. This is just going to cause atrophy in your tissues, and it's going to prevent the circulation from happening. So gentle movement, gentle stretches. If it's your wrist, for example, just gently stretching, right? Just little things can make a big difference. It keeps that circulation open. And if you haven't done it already, end your session with some vagus nerve stimulation. This is one of the things that's going to help to calm the body down. It amplifies the calming anti-inflammatory throughout the body. It shuts that inflammatory response down. So it's going to kind of be like flipping a switch. You'll know the frequencies are working when you feel yourself calming down. Your pain will ease, your mind will calm. That is your nervous system shifting from inflammation is normal to restoration. Okay, so let's review. Inflammation is a natural but noisy and sometimes irritating process. And in some cases, the signal gets stuck in the on position. Anti-inflammatory frequencies like the 121 hertz, like the 350 hertz, blue stimulation, these help the body reset that signal and return to balance. When you use microcurrent and sound frequencies together as well, you're addressing the electrical and vibrational aspects of inflammation. Sound can be freak, right? This is a great way to help calm the body. So the next time you're experiencing pain, the next time you experience swelling or emotional agitation, think about it. Take a few minutes to tune in to your body. Use your frequencies. Apply the microcurrent. Breathe deeply. Visualize your body becoming healthy again. You're not fighting the inflammation. I don't think that's really the right way to put it. You're transforming it into healing energy. And that is the power of frequencies. That's the power of frequency medicine. It doesn't push the body. It reminds the body of what it already knows, which is ultimately how to heal. So thank you everyone for joining me today. I'll see you in the next video for another 10-minute training. Take care. Bye-bye.